festive season. You're looking merry, you're looking beautiful, and you are ready to delve into the celebration. If you're a man, you are resting, you've taken leave, you are sitting for hours by a tree on your couch. If you are a woman, you are working hard in the kitchen, feeding your family, feeding your children, feeding guest after guest. You took leave to rest, but the festive season is proving to be more work than your everyday job. The care workload is a reality for many women, and it is especially heavy during the festive season. This is Hide the Meat, where we visit feminist kitchens all over the African continent to talk about the things that affect us in a style that works for us, a tone that works for us. My name is Patience Akumu. I am a lawyer, I am a writer, I am a proud African feminist. And today we are going to talk about the care workload and how it affects women in the private sphere at home, but also how this effect spills into our lives and our daily work and getting in the way of us achieving our full potential outside the home too. I have with me our usual suspects, our co-hosts, Margaret Katono, my beloved mother, who you have complimented and talked about in many ways because you feel like she is quite relatable, and she is here today to give us the perspective of care work back in the day like she usually does, but also how the care workload shaped the trajectory for women and the potential for women at the time, and so that we can see if the trend is changing or if it's getting worse. I'm here with Margaret Katono, my niece, who usually gives us the perspective of the younger people. She is as brilliant as she is disruptive, bringing forward those conversations, those opinions that we do not always think about as people who are from different generations, but bringing forward the younger, very important opinions. Today is Maggie. And last but not least, we have with us Charity Namara, brilliant woman. She is a gender justice campaigner. She is a feminist. She is a human rights activist who has done work in international development spheres in several organizations, but who has specifically dedicated her time to studying care work and how it affects women, but also to influencing policies to take the care work conversation to the public sphere and to make sure that our work turns into monetary value, turns into national and international recognition. Charity Namara is here to talk about that, and we are excited at Hide the Meat to have her. Before we delve into the conversation on women's unpaid care work, let's just first have our usual introductory remarks from Ma'am. What does care work mean to you, and what can we expect to hear from you today?
Thank you, Pesh. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Namara. Good morning, everybody. My name is Margaret Katono Nduri. I am a mother, as I've always said. I'm a mother by birth, having been born in a family of 11 people, and you are the firstborn. You are a mother by birth. You have to take care of your siblings all the time. You're the one going to be questioned and to take responsibility. I am retired. I worked with PKF Uganda for a long time as an administrator and in charge of human resource. That also makes me a mother person in the administrative, in the workplace. I'm here today. I'm happy to be here today at Hide the Meat show again. Sunshine Kitchen once more. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to tell you about what care work meant at that time. What is it that we went through? What is it that women had to go through what did they lose? What did they lose? They lost even opportunities because of care work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Margaret. We look forward to that. Katono.
Hi, my name is Margaret Katono as well, and today I look a bit less. Sorry, I look less. That's because school is over. Today I'm going to tell you about how care work was introduced to me, how I learned about it, and how it affects us in our daily life. I just want to have a conversation really today. I just want to give you a background because I have a full history on it, how it has affected me, how it has affected my family, and how it bleeds into things such as schools, like as early as nursery. So yeah, I would love to talk about that, and I'm thankful for our guests today. I'd love to hear what she thinks, and I look forward to having this conversation today. Yeah.
Thank you, Maggie. Namara.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. I am so excited, and yeah, as you can see, I've been smiling and nodding. My name is Charity Namara. I currently work with Oxfam in Africa as the WeCare, which is the Women Economic Empowerment and Care Program Manager, leading the whole care agenda in Oxfam in Africa. Today, I'm so excited to talk about decolonizing care. What does it mean to decolonize care? Of course, we know that there are systems such as patriarchy, colonialism, sexism that really entrench care work and ensure that women are at the periphery. So today I would like to just speak to that, as well as speak to the magnitude and effects of care work on women. What does it mean for a woman to do care work? How does it affect their health, their education, their employment opportunities, their networking, etc. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Pesh.
Thank you, Charity. We are very excited to have you today. And I will start off with one question that we have all been asked at one point in our lives as we were in school or as we were helping our children with school. And that question is usually, who is the head of the family? And what is the role of mother? It's an actual question that is still being asked in Ugandan schools. What is the role of the mother in the home? They're going to answer and say mother cooks, mother cleans. And if they say mother pays school fees, they're going to be marked wrong. If they say, mother protects us at night as we sleep, it's going to be a wrong answer. Who is the head of the family and what is the role of women at home? Women do a lot of unpaid care work. And like Charity, you allude, it comes from a history of colonialism, where the colonialists came in and reinforced their structures, their hierarchies, their highly patriarchal notions on what society should be, and how women's place in the kitchen would enable colonialists to get men to leave home as women stay back and cook and subsidize them so that they use the men to, rob us more and access our resources, utilize them as clerks later in offices. But it was all able to happen because women were staying back and enabling the capitalism. And us recognizing that the fact that you stay home, the fact that you are tired from all the work is not an accident. It's in our education system, it's in our histories, it's in the very core of capitalism because they need women to be able to stay home and subsidize men and subsidize the capitalist economy. Maggie, my first question is to you. When they were asking this question is in school, who is the head of the family? What does the mother do? What does the father do? What were your initial thoughts as children in school? And how did these questions extend into the lives of students and the interpretations of students on the roles of women and care work?
Honestly, in P1 I wasn't thinking of too much. Like, I just wanted to pass the exam. I wasn't thinking too much. Like, I was, how old? Like 6? In 2011, I was about 6 years old. And I wasn't thinking too much about it. I mean, I'm just answering a question. But maybe when I left, like, let's say I left P7 with a different mind, and that was when feminism was at an all-time, feminism, I was learning about it at an all-time high. So I was like, this is kind of off. Like, this is very, very, very off. So at the time when I learned about it, this is just an example, I was just thinking of getting out and going to play. But as time went by, I was thinking, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean the father's role is to lead and the mother's role is to cook and clean? When my mother, you see that? When my mother provides for me, I know that when I ask mommy for something, she's going to give it to me monetarily. She's literally my protector. So what do you mean? I started questioning it a bit. So I go into secondary and now I'm getting aware of this is actually a thing. 100% it's a thing. People, I think around Form 2, I was the class monitress of my class and I was supposed to make a sweeping rota, right? So that was a serious thing, by the way. If you're in national school, you know the sweeping rota is a very serious affair. It's very serious, and the dean would come in like, we're supposed to sweep today. Did you make the rota? Is the rota up? So I'm like, okay, so I go home, I do my thing, I make a rota, like I write down names of 90 students. But we know 102, not 90. 90 was in senior 102. So I wrote down boys, girls, they're going to sweep the class. So that day she comes and she's like, where are the sweepers? I tell these guys, I listen, I read their names on the blackboard and everything. I'm like, guys, come and sweep. They're like, am I a chick? Excuse me. I was like, what?
So the boys asked, why am I on the road? Am I a chick? Am I a woman?
Yeah, I was like,
am I a girl?
Like, I'm like, so again, at that time I was like, what? So I get mad. I'm like, you know what, this guy is risking my things for nothing. Let me go. So I did it myself, by the way. I got her broom and I did it myself. Then after that I realized, is this normal? Like, do people sit down and think themselves
mad? Wait a minute. So Maggie, you were a leader. You were supposed to lead leadership. Them.
Exactly.
And this is something that women in the workplace find themselves doing, and how the care work roles follow you. And ma'am, you say that you are an administrator. It has all these connotations. When they call you to cut cake at work and they say, there is a party, who is going to cut the cake? Who is going to serve the cake? It looks benign. It looks like it's a simple task. But already they are casting you. You're the cake cutter. And then when you come to your leadership role, it's hard for them to unsee you. And I'm seeing it playing out very early.
I am literally not even an assistant. It's me. Me and I do it anyway, like it's a classmate and monitress. But I'm thinking, I'm literally the one supposed to be in charge of this class. I just picked the room and I did it myself. Mm-hmm. But now, when you look at it and you're thinking, I've literally done it myself, and then you're going to go and tell me that a man is supposed to lead. I did it myself. Like, I picked up a broom and did it myself, and I told the person to do it and they refused. Is that what we define leadership as? Ignoring responsibilities and delegating them and saying, well, I've led. You understand? I think most of you, or I found all of you that are seated here are in positions of leadership. All of you. So, can I ask you, for you in your mind, do you think that leadership is, go and do this, go and do this, go and do this, while you're just there seated, legs up?
I think that from what you're saying, the interpretation of leadership for women is very ambiguous. It is very hard, and I don't know how you see it, you can tell me, but it's very hard for them to see us as leaders. Already you are a leader and they're questioning you. Yeah. But because of the care workload and the way we internalize, we carry every burden. That which is ours and that which is not. So in this case, you were supposed to lead and coordinate, and you did the rota, and then you find yourself also cleaning. Because we are accepting that men have rejected us as leaders, and yet they put us in some kind of leadership position.
And guess what they're going to hold responsible? Of course, they're going to hold me responsible.
And if you fail, they'll say, girl class monitors.
And just like, and let me, just like when a man does something, but they're going to say his wife. And who are they blaming? The lead? They're not blaming the leader. They are blaming the person who they say has basically no role, diminishing her role and still giving her the responsibility.
Yeah. I wanted to add something. I think, Pesh, from what you said, how women carry the triple roles. You're you a mother, you a provider, because these days women are providing for a fact, then you're a carer, right? So she was a monitress, a monitor. At the same time, that whole social norm of saying that a woman has to, at the end of the day, you're the one to sweep, because the boy said, hey, I'm not a girl, excuse me. So because of that socialization, because already at the back of your mind, it's written there subconsciously that, yes, as much as you're a leader, you still have to do the care roles, yeah, the minute roles that you have to play. Even when you're a vice president, you still come back home and you're slapped because you haven't cooked food or you haven't boiled water. And we have seen these cases in this country of, big time leaders in public. At the same time, when they get to their domestic sphere, they are, they are abused because they have not done A, B, C, D. So again, from what you're saying, the social norms, the systems, the patriarchy that really entrenches what ascribed social roles are supposed to be done by men and women goes with us in the public, in the global spaces. And it's time that we see how to deconstruct, we see how to unlearn, relearn, and so that we don't move around written, with faces written on, I am the invisible carer, at the same time I am the president of this country. No, we have to see how to address that. And that comes only in the systems that we work with, from the home to the schools to the institutions that we work with.
And it's so entrenched. When we have the white weddings, the glorified white weddings, and often had praise.
Very expensive.
That white wedding you're dying to have, that dress you're dying to wear, that colonial ceremony you're dying to have. It mixes with our African culture. The thing with colonialism in Africa, it's such a spiral. It's just, one, you want the white man's ways that work for men, but you also want the African ways that work for men.
Even for women. Because here's what I see about it. They're like, they pick and choose from the white man what's going to work for them. But when it gets too much, they're like, Western culture. Juicy.
They can't pick a side, and either way women are losing. At every single wedding, somebody says, by the way, you're here, you're marrying Namara. You, Oxfam Africa, how? Here you are a wife. They remind you. They clobber you back to submission at a ceremony that should be a celebration of love and equality and partnership. And they're reminding you that you will always be below the man. They will remind you with the gifts they will give you. They'll say, we are bringing you here a plate to serve your husband. Hey, kneel down and give him cake. It's all, and it looks innocent. But it's the roles that they are already reinforcing on this stage, the roles they reinforced when you are in school. And we see children responding, boys responding. Everywhere they go, everywhere they look, life is telling them, you are the leader, you are the supreme. And girls, life is telling us, you are the servant, you are the one who is going to kneel down, and you're going to be the one to do all the care work. Ma'am, how do you view all this? How was care work reinforced from your time? What were the expectations of a woman, and how did this shape your life?
Yeah, thank you, Pesh. Then I have many things to really talk about. I'll first start by what you have been talking about. When you go to school time, when you are in school, you may have, we had clubs. I'm talking about my personal experience. We had clubs. Now, in these clubs, when they are choosing who's the chairman of the club, it's going to be definitely a boy. I was in a mixed school all my life. The chairman, the chairperson, the chairman, not the chairperson. Chairman. It was chairman. Chairman. Oh, we know it was chairman. Who's the chairperson? Just we tried to learn, but our time we failed to say chairperson. We tried to say chairperson. Yes, it's difficult. So, if you had clubs, for example, and then they are choosing chairman, it was obviously definitely a man. And then, okay, now we are going, who is the secretary? They look at Margaret. Yes, Margaret, you are the secretary.
Take minutes, huh?
Yes, take minutes, you are the secretary to assist the other guy, you are the, you know. It's nice, it had never been the other way, that let the lady be the chairman. Why not? And let the boy be the secretary to assist me. What's the big deal? I may be more capable, but people are not going to see my capability just because I'm a woman. They will not allow it. And I have a lot, like, when I was at school, I was the head girl at one point. There was a head boy. But when I look back at it now, it is like the head girl doesn't have as much authority as the head boy. As if the head girl, again, is under the head boy. We are both heads of these departments. It's like a head of department. Now, if you are the head boy and I'm the head girl, we should be at par. You know, our roles and responsibilities are pretty much the same. So, but eventually, when other things come into play, you realize it's the head boy who is actually the final person. You, the head girl, again, will go to the head boy. You are expected to say, now, head boy, you know what happened? A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. Okay, maybe we see the administration. So I was again as if, when I'm now looking back. At that time, I didn't know. I didn't realize. But now you look back and say, hey, the head boy was again, I was again supposed to report to the head boy. I mean, I'm the head girl. So why was I again saying the head boy? Telling, you know, you see? So that is what I'm seeing now. After some time, you know, you look back. Then what happened to me, I was in a mixed school. I'm not going to mention this school where I was at O level. There was, when you reached senior 3, you had to choose subjects naturally. So choosing this subject, there was technical drawing. And then there was also home economics. It's technical drawing at the same time with the home economics. So you either did technical drawing or home economics. Now me, I don't know, the unique or queer woman, I wanted to do TD. But then, I loved it. I wanted it. It was difficult.
I'm just trying to say, like, for you, can you imagine at that level, you wanted to do something that difficult, and then they were like...
So I wanted to do TD, technical drawing. But there, you know, from senior 1, senior 2, there's TD are for boys. So you want to do TD, you know, the girls are supposed to do home economics.
Like architecture drawing.
So yes, that is the school I was at. I don't want to mention.
Our viewers will mention the school. They will recognize you and mention that school. Name the school that stopped my mother from being an architect and engineer.
I don't know whether it's still like that today. There's Dr. Demon. Maybe I would, if I could meet Dr. Demon, I would ask, because she comes from that side. So they would say, no, girls are supposed to do home econ and the boys are supposed to do TD. So it just felt like that naturally. So when you get to senior 2, senior 3, you're going to, as a girl, you're going to go to the home economics lab and the boys do the TD. So you see how many opportunities I could have lost if I'd done my TD. Because so I wanted it, I ended up doing home economics because that was the order of the school. That was the way things were done. So you just had to follow suit. So I ended up doing home economics, whereas I wanted to do TD. And if I were mature enough then, I would have just beaten the odds and said, no, let me be the first person in this school to do TD.
I'm sure your friends were also telling you, Anna, you're going to be alone in that class.
What were your parents saying? Did you ever express it to them?
No, then parents were at another level. We are talking about parenting now, where you sit like this with your parents, talk and... No, my father is a retired teacher. Was a headmaster from the time I was born till he retired. So even back home, he was a teacher and a headmaster. So authoritative, so strict, so unapproachable. So there was no way I could discuss anything with my teacher. And he would tell me, whatever is at school is what you must obey. You have to obey the school rules. You have to, you just have to go by what the school demands. Because he himself was a headmaster. So he couldn't tell me, now, my daughter, you choose. No, he would never let me choose. So I never discussed with my parents. I just went on with my home economics like that until I finished. Whereas I could have done TD, technical drawing. Yeah, so I think I lost a big opportunity because I was really interested in doing it.
Now, societal and gender norms, ma'am, are so entrenched that many times we think of them as unquestionable, normal. Even the women who do most of the care workload in Uganda, they do up to 3 times, 4 times more care work than men. But when you ask them, they don't think that there is something wrong with this situation. When you were told you couldn't do technical drawing, you also did not feel like you could question. And I know you love straight lines, you love perfection, you love precision. I could see how you could do technical drawing, how you could reach this dream, but this dream was never offered to you. And we women, we are placed in situations where how society casts us is really, really difficult to shake off. You're watching Hide the Myths, where we have feminist conversations at feminist kitchens. As our viewers, one thing that you should know is that the impact of women's unpaid care work is not benign. It flows into the public sphere, into the workplace, and affects how we are valued and remunerated as women. According to a UN Women report on the pay gap between men and women in Uganda, women in Uganda earn up to 32% to 33% less than the men for doing the same job. The situation is especially bad for women who do not have education beyond primary level. So for women who have done education up to primary level and men doing the same job, the pay gap is 46%. It's almost double. It's almost 50%. So women earn half of what men earn for doing the same work when they don't have a tertiary education. This UN Women report gets even more interesting. It shows that for women who are in masculine spaces, technology, technical drawing that you are talking about, architecture, engineering, the pay gap is 103%. You earn, the man doubles your salary and goes over because of the social norms that we are talking about, the way they framed you at school and the way they framed you in the workplace. And we cannot just sit back and say, oh, it was a minor thing. It stands in the way of dreams. It could be the reason why you are not getting that salary raise as a woman, because they just cannot stop seeing you as a caregiver who is doing paid work and who deserves equal pay. Namara, you said you could relate to Mommy's experience. Can you tell us how that story ran in your life?
Wow, interesting. Yes, I could relate because I wanted to do law, to be a lawyer. My late father was a lawyer and a politician. May his soul rest in eternal peace. So in my S6 vacation, there are forms that you fill to go to university. I filled them and I wanted to do law. And I wanted to do it at Makerere. So I got my results, which were 20 plus points. That time our points were 25 out. Yeah, the best was 25 and I think I got 21, which could get me to any law school in Uganda. So once I got those points, unfortunately the government of Uganda didn't give me the scholarship or something. They didn't pay for me. However, I could still do law with those marks on private. And that time I had my uncle who was in the, looking after us as, children of his late brother. Very nice man, and he really loved us. May his soul rest in eternal peace as well. So I talked to him. I said, Uncle, I got 21. I was so excited. I want to do law. He said, you want to do law? Where? I said, Makerere, of course. And he said, you got 21 points? Don't you think you can take your second choice, which was SWASA, Social Work and Social Administration, because they were giving it to me on a silver plate, the government of Uganda, and going to pay for it. I was like, yeah, it's for free, but I want to do law. Then he told me, no, you do SWASA, do this SWASA. Then for your masters, you can think through what you want to do. Maybe you can go and do law or any other course related to law. I went and did that course, not because I loved that course. I did it, and then years later, my brother does his S6, and he gets slightly less marks, less points than I got. And guess what? Now my uncle, and I love my brother to death. Hi, I love you so much.
We love you, men, but some things, eh?
So my uncle says, asks my brother, oh, what course do you want to do? My brother is like, I'm thinking maybe business administration. He didn't even mention law. My uncle is like, no, why don't you do law? Mukono, Makere, where do you want to go? And at first I didn't understand this whole inequality, and I thought it was a simple, thing, because maybe it was because I got a scholarship and it was an act of fairness. When I look back, I'm like, why is it that the boy who got less marks was being presented with an opportunity to go and do law, and me who got marks, really high marks, I was told to do my second choice? Am I a second-class citizen, or what does it mean? Now I can relate, and maybe my uncle didn't do it out of selfishness. It was, he didn't know maybe better at that point. He didn't know how it would make me feel. Yes, so that's why I said I could relate, because I missed out on doing law, but I'm here seated with lawyers and global feminists, and yeah.
I have to breathe hard to swallow my rage at this point, because I know Namara, I know her brilliance, I know her dedication, I know her work ethic, and she would have certainly made a fantastic lawyer. And I don't know how you ladies feel, but I feel enraged.
I feel very sad. I feel very sad for your generation, because you guys got not the worst, but like, how do I say, like my Jaja's generation, no offense, you guys were horrible parents. No, horrible. Not horrible in the sense that you didn't provide, but in the sense that your children, like your generation is the saddest. Like every time I'm hearing the worst stories of things that happen, and I'm hearing that, and I just feel sad. Yeah. I just feel like I'm so sorry that you couldn't do what you wanted to do. Like I'm so sorry that was a thing for you.
Yeah, and not because I didn't get the marks. I got the marks for a fact.
Better, and he didn't see you as a lawyer,
and he didn't even want to do law. Like you can imagine the situation.
My brother ended up doing another course because he wasn't interested. Now me who was interested.
He abandoned law school, or he refused?
No, he was not interested. Yeah, I was interested. Yeah,
The opportunity was denied.
yeah, missed opportunity.
See?
These are real issues.
Yes, they are real issues. Our grandchildren, my grandchildren shouldn't go through this.
Exactly.
They should have opportunities. Do what you want to.
We need to do better. But we see men being propped up, even in the workplace. A mediocre man will come in and they will immediately see a superstar. Even when he has challenges, they'll say, oh, how do we build your capacity? How do we help you? As women, we have to work doubly hard, triply hard, to be acknowledged, to be seen as having the capacity to do different things. And we never think about our history and how it's spills into our workplace, the care work expectations, and the way that the world looks at us.
It even bleeds into healthcare. Let me tell you something. I want to go into healthcare, and I've been to hospitals. I mean, you come in, the way this man is talking to the nurse, as if it's why he's like you're talking to the nurse, you're harassing the nurse. This one has this lady, this man. They don't talk to men like that. They are male nurses. They talk to the woman like.
Male nurses are called doctors. What are you talking about?
Actually,
You're
a doctor out there. You come into the room to the patient. They're looking at you like, I studied for 15 years. For me to come and sit with you, I studied for 15 years. You're looking at me like I'm mad. you talk to the nurse as if I don't know. As if you're looking, she's treating you. You're trying to grope her. You're looking at her bum. Are you normal? This woman has her life in your hands. She has her life in your hands. You're treating her like she's mad. And even, it's not even about the patient, it's even your colleagues. But I've seen stories, I've read stories about doctors, even you told me that you can become a nurse and doctors can hit on you. We are working, you guys. We have people's lives in our hands. You see,
Okay, first back up. Give us some context. You aspire to be a nurse.
I aspire to work in healthcare. Let's be clear. I aspire to work in healthcare and eventually go into humanitarian healthcare. So, yes. Basically what you do,
But through the nurses, through
the medical aid.
lens.
But also, you read stories and we're talking about how they were harassed by doctors. Okay, we are busy. Women doctors.
And your grandma is concerned that if you become a nurse,
she's going to be like, they're going to harass me. And I told her, man, if someone harasses, I told her, man, no one I work is going, I told her, no one I'm going to work with is going to harass me unsuccessfully anyway. But that was how worried. Can you imagine? They want me to go to nursing because it's going to, they're going to harass me. Can you imagine me not being able to do what I want to do because I'm scared of you looking at my bum? When a woman walks into a room, the first thing they're going to think, wait, Alina Kamina Kanene? I am bad Debichi. I speak in Uganda so that we can have context. But they are going to ask you, what does your hair look like? Are your bums big? What about your breast? Do you have a bra on? Are you wearing this dress? Is she this? Is she that? Do you see that? That kind of thing. This is a professional. Someone, literally, we are working on people's lives. You're working on children. You know, when you go to hospital, leave clinics, and especially when you go to hospitals, when you go to a hospital, people literally have death looming over them. And someone has a time to hit on you. A patient comes in, they are looking at your bum, they are talking to you as if you're age mates. This is not even a first thing. You, mommy, we have someone in our family who talks to women like that. Even let's leave nurses, people who are serving you waitresses, you find men talking to waitresses as if they are you crazy?
Because they're in an industry.
Yeah, you're just even if you're a doctor, even if you're even if you're a vice president, they will still find a way to reduce you, to diminish you into being an object. Can you imagine?
Right. And I wanted to add something, Maggie, before you leave that point. And when Pesh asked me the first question about what I'm going to talk about, I think I talked about systems, sexist systems. Why are you looking at my bums? Why are you looking at? Am I a sex symbol? Like what you're saying, they are trying to reduce me to not to what is in my head or what I can offer, but this. Yeah. So the sexist system, we must dismantle all those systems, the colonial systems, the patriarchy. So there's a lot that we need to do, and it's in our publications. I don't know if you guys had that Nile Standard English, remember that? Where the girls were sweeping and the boys are in the, that's an image you're showing a child of P3. What am I supposed to think? Yeah? So what you're talking about is a big, big thing, and we must address it if we are going to have caring societies, caring structures, and transformative systems in this country and beyond. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
So in healthcare, I think it's especially dangerous because the people who death is looming over, the people who save our lives in the health system, they have a very important job to do. And most of them, like you say, are women. Actually, 65% of global healthcare workers are women. Many of them are doing a lot of the work at the ground. Many of them are community health workers. Many of them are first responders. The people who go to diagnose malaria, the people who manage the fevers, the people who give first aid, the people who save lives at the front line. But guess what? Only 25% of global health leaders are women. So there are women, there are men just sitting there, getting the perks and getting the leadership pay. But women, even in the health sector, which is tilting towards care, and where women will gravitate because of social construction, because they are raised to do it, but they're not rewarding us, they're not paying you, they're not giving you leadership.
And just to confirm that statistic, in my class, in the class I do, it's biological sciences, we have more girls than boys. Like 3/4 of us are girls.
But where are the girls going to end up? Are they going to be leaders, or are they going to be paid, fairly remunerated? And yes,
it is just so disgusting. Like, You know how hectic it is. I'm not even talking about leave nurses, leave doctors, leave people, those are people who, let's say, by nature deserve respect. Look, I'm talking about social workers just like her. I'm talking about you. You work in comms. I'm talking about my teacher who's an admin. I'm talking about people who work in tech. I'm talking about normal interaction. Someone is literally your boss. But every time she comes in, your comment is on her skirt. And that's what we blame. I don't want to say it's only men, because other women, though, you'll come, you're a man, a woman talking to a woman, and is abusing a fellow woman, and they're just like, ha, yeah, her skirt is not nice, her clothes. Look at you. Even if you laugh with that man, it will never save you from that fate, unfortunately, because that is your fate. You can laugh, you can ridicule, but that's still that you will forever be that. So you're not exceptional. You're not exceptional. You can want them to pick you, and they still won't pick you.
Even when you conform, even when I first got a very major managerial role, one of the things that I struggled with was how people viewed me and how I expressed. And I remember at one point, I am talking to a man who should be my peer, and he just stops and says, "But how old are you?" And I'm thinking, okay, what is going on? And I realized in this space, I am not taken very seriously. I said, should I reduce on the number of earrings I wear on my ears? Should I stop painting my nails red? For a moment, I started wearing duller clothes, but it didn't work. They didn't unsee me from that space. I had to assert myself. I had to say, I am here, I have a table. I had to dismantle that patriarchal table, take my seat, and find a way to influence from within. So it's also a lot of work for us. And you're still on Hide the Meat. This is the festive season. We are looking gorgeous. We are looking bright. We are looking brilliant. We are making merry, but also a lot of women are dying quietly under that heavy, heavy yoke of unpaid care work. You're going to go back to work, and you will even be more tired.